Welcome back to another video. Take a look at any world map today. It looks permanent. It looks fixed. Like these borders and countries have always been there and always will be. But here's the truth. The map you're looking at right now is just a snapshot in time. Throughout history, powerful nations with armies, governments, flags, and millions of people have completely disappeared from the face of the earth. Some were destroyed by war, some collapsed from within, and some were simply erased by more powerful neighbors. Today we count down 10 countries that once existed but are now completely gone. Stay until the end, because number 1 might be in your backyard. Number 10. The Republic of Texas, 1836 to 1845. Yes, Texas was once its own independent country. In 1836, Texas declared independence from Mexico after a famous battle, the Battle of the Alamo. For 9 years, Texas existed as a fully independent republic, with its own president, its own army, and its own flag. But Texas was broke. It had massive debts and was surrounded by enemies. So, in 1845, Texas made a deal and voluntarily joined the United States as the 28th US state. The Republic of Texas ceased to exist, but its independent spirit never died. Number 9. Czechoslovakia, 1918 to 1993. Czechoslovakia was born after World War I in 1918, combining two peoples, the Czechs and the Slovaks, into one country. It survived World War II, Soviet occupation, and the Cold War. But after communism fell in 1989, old tensions resurfaced. The Czechs and Slovaks simply decided they wanted to go their separate ways. On January 1st, 1993, without a single shot fired, Czechoslovakia peacefully split into two new countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. It became known as the Velvet Divorce, one of history's most civilized breakups. Number 8. Prussia, 1525 to 1947. For hundreds of years, Prussia was one of the most feared military powers in Europe. It shaped the identity of modern Germany, its disciplined army, its efficient bureaucracy, its culture of order and power. Prussia led the unification of Germany in 1871 and became the dominant force in the new German Empire. But after Germany's defeat in World War II, the Allied powers decided Prussia was too dangerous to exist. In 1947, they officially abolished Prussia by decree. Its lands were split between Germany, Poland, Lithuania, and Russia. One of Europe's most powerful states, erased with the stroke of a pen. Number 7. The Ottoman Empire, 1299 to 1922. For over 600 years, the Ottoman Empire ruled one of the most powerful civilizations on earth. At its peak, it controlled Turkey, the Middle East, North Africa, and much of Southeast Europe. Istanbul, then called Constantinople, was one of the greatest cities in the world. But the empire grew weaker over centuries, losing wars and territory one by one. When the Ottomans backed the losing side in World War I, it was the final blow. In 1922, the empire officially collapsed. In its place rose the modern Republic of Turkey, and the lands it once controlled became Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Palestine, borders that still shape conflict in the Middle East today. Number 6. East World War II, Germany was cut in half. West Germany became a free democratic nation backed by the United States. East Germany became a communist state under Soviet control, surrounded by the Berlin Wall, one of history's most infamous structures. Families were separated. People were shot trying to cross. For 40 years, East and West Germany were two completely different worlds. Then, on November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. Crowds tore it down with hammers and their bare hands. On October 3, 1990, Germany officially reunified, and East Germany ceased to exist forever. Number 5. Gran Colombia, 1819 to 1831. Imagine one man trying to unite an entire continent. That man was Simón Bolívar, the great liberator of South America. In 1819, he created Gran Colombia, a massive country uniting modern-day Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Panama. Bolívar dreamed of a powerful, united South America, like the United States. But the dream collapsed almost immediately. Regional leaders refused to share power. Political rivalries tore the country apart. By 1831, Gran Colombia had broken into 3 separate nations. Simón Bolívar died the same year, a broken man who called his dream plowing the sea. Number 4. Yugoslavia, 1918 to 1992. Yugoslavia, the land of southern Slavs, was created after World War I by uniting 6 very different ethnic groups under one flag: Serbs, Croats, Slovenes, Bosniaks, Macedonians, and Montenegrins. For decades it held together, but always with tension underneath. When communism fell in 1989, those tensions exploded. Yugoslavia broke apart in a decade of brutal wars, killing over 140,000 people and producing the worst genocide in Europe since the Holocaust, the Srebrenica massacre of 1995. By 2006, Yugoslavia had completely dissolved into 7 separate countries. One nation became many. Number 3. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, 1867 to 1918. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was a superpower of its time, a vast, multi-ethnic empire covering much of Central Europe. It ruled over Austrians, Hungarians, Czechs, Poles, Slovaks, Croatians, and more. Over 50 million people speaking a dozen different languages. But it was also a powder keg. When Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in 1914, it triggered World War I, arguably the most catastrophic conflict in history. Austria-Hungary backed the losing side, and by 1918, the empire had completely collapsed. In its place rose Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and parts of modern Poland, Romania, and Italy. One empire became 10 countries. Number 2. The Kingdom of Hawaii, 1795 to 1898. Before it became America's 50th state, Hawaii was a kingdom. The Hawaiian Islands were united under King Kamehameha I in 1795 and ruled by a royal dynasty for nearly 100 years. Hawaii had its own culture, its own language, its own royal palace. But American businessmen wanted control of the islands, especially the sugar trade. In 1893, a group of American settlers, backed by US Marines, overthrew Queen Liliuokalani, Hawaii's last monarch. She surrendered to avoid bloodshed. In 1898, the United States formally annexed Hawaii. The Kingdom of Hawaii was gone. But Queen Liliuokalani spent the rest of her life fighting for her people and never gave up. Number 1. The Soviet Union, USSR, 1922 to 1991. 15 countries, 290 million people, gone in 25 days. The Soviet Union, the USSR, was the largest country in history. At its peak, it covered 22.4 million square kilometers. That's 1/6 of all the land on Earth. 290 million people, over 100 languages, 15 republics. For most of the 20th century, the USSR was the United States' only rival. 2 superpowers locked in a Cold War that nearly destroyed the planet. But by the late 1980s, the Soviet economy was collapsing. People were starving. Republics were demanding independence. President Gorbachev tried to reform the system, but it was too late. Between December 1st and December 25th, 1991, in just 25 days, the Soviet Union ceased to exist. On Christmas Day 1991, Gorbachev resigned. The Soviet flag was lowered over the Kremlin for the last time. And in its place, 15 new independent countries appeared on the world map: Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and 12 others. The largest country in history, gone in less than a month. And there you have it, 10 countries that once existed but are now completely gone. From the Republic of Texas to the mighty Soviet Union, history has shown us over and over again, no country lasts forever. The borders we see today could look completely different 100 years from now. Which country shocked you the most? Drop a comment below. We read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with someone who loves history. And subscribe to the channel. We bring you amazing facts and history every week. See you in the next one.